I'll call this regional council meeting to order. Developing meaningful relations with our Indigenous neighbors is a priority of the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality. As such, we are collaborating with First Nations governments and Indigenous organizations to develop a respectful and meaningful territorial acknowledgement. This work also presents an opportunity to learn more about the culture and history of the Indigenous people of our region. Please be advised that tonight's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded. Should virtual attendees wish to address council during either the public comment period or the question and answer period, use the raise hands feature on your webinar controls. When it's your turn and are prompted, unmute your microphone, state your name, and ask your question. Once your question is ended, you'll be muted again. I have no additions. Are there any councillor additions tonight? Any CAO additions?
No, Mayor.
Can I get a motion, please, then to adopt the agenda? Moved by Councillor Roper, seconded by Councillor Souls. All those in favor? Carried. And a motion to adopt the minutes of the special regional council meeting of June 21st, 2022, the special regional council meeting of June 25th, 2022, the special regional council of June 27th, 2022, and the regional council of June 27th, 2022. Moved by Councillor Roper, seconded by Councillor Souls. All those in favor? Carried. Are there any virtual attendees that wish to comment on tonight's agenda? Thank you. Admin report number 56, 2021, annual report adoption, Ms. McIver.
So the annual report was brought to council for consideration at our last meeting. And so since that time, we've had no public feedback, which means we have no revisions to suggest. So should council wish, it's there for your adoption.
Can I get a motion then? Moved by Councillor Souls. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? And the annual report is adopted. Admin report number 57, downtown revitalization plan and parks and trails active mobility planning projects update. Ms. Andakari.
Good evening, Mayor and councillors. Well, among many other projects being undertaken this year, Downtown Revitalization Plan and Parks and Trails Active Mobility Planning are the projects which is in progress this year that will improve the existing service experience of the people and support the long-range vision and planning. This report is for the information purpose and also aims to inform the audience and the council about the upcoming public engagement opportunities envisioned for both of these projects. The preliminary phases for both projects are already underway. So far, site visits and assessments of the study area of the both projects is done by the hired consultant members, and public surveys are also out for the responses. A diverse demographic of people and organizations were invited and are invited to participate in the process, and staffs are working towards arranging the engagement with the identified groups. For Downtown Revitalization Plan, the engagement is planned for August, and for the Parks and Trails Active Mobility Plan, the initial engagement was planned for July, which already has happened in the beginning of July, and next engagement is scheduled to take place in September. It is exciting to learn the projects are moving forward, and a variety of means of public engagement are proposed for both the projects. With this note, all the residents of Fort Nelson, identified focus group, First Nations, visitors, and stakeholders are encouraged to stay tuned for the upcoming notice for engagement and meaningfully participate in the engagement. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from Ms. Andikari? Councillor Gerwing.
Thank you. So I noticed in the report that on the Parks and Trails Active Mobility Planning, it says that work is going to continue through 2022 with construction targets for 2023. So do you have like an ETA for when the conceptual plan will be presented to the community and to council? Like, do you have any firmer dates than just construction targeted to begin in 2023?
It was based on anticipated plan. Although we do have the deadline for October end for the Parks and Trails Active Mobility Plan for the concept plans to be ready by then. So we were thinking to continue that and have the drawings that would be required for construction be prepared before summer of next year. And maybe we would probably be able to initiate that next year in the summer for the construction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from Ms. Andikari? Very well. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask that we amend the agenda here so that we move on to bylaw number 205. Because if we take up administration report number 58, I'll have to leave and we will lose quorum. Can I get a motion, please? Moved by Councillor Souls, seconded by Councillor Gerber, and all those in favor. And the agenda is amended. Bylaw number 205, Fire Protection Service Area Extension Amendment. Ms. Andikari.
I can speak to the bylaw, sir.
Okay.
So the Fire Protection Service Area Amendment is coming to you as a result of a request that we had from a resident last fall to extend the Fire Protection Service area to their property. Their property was among a series of properties on McConaughey Creek Road West. And so in speaking with Fire Rescue, CAO Barry worked with Chief Childs to identify a series of properties that had significant improvements, either homes or shops or both, along that area of McConaughey Creek Road West that would potentially benefit from having fire protection services. So we proceeded with the requirements of the community charter, where it would be a municipally initiated local service area. So not a resident petitioned expansion, but a municipally initiated expansion. And you can proceed with in accordance with notice given, which we did that in early June. We corresponded with all of the potentially impacted property owners, and we had no petitions received against the expansion. We had some inquiries about the potential service, but no petitions against. So saying that, we do have the bylaw in front of you in the essence of time, and with limited amount of meetings through the summer, we went ahead and drafted the bylaw for council's consideration. So the deadline for petitions actually extends up to July 15th. And I would just say that if we do receive any petitions between today and the 15th, that the bylaw could just simply not proceed if it amounts to the required number of petitions against the service area expansion. So there was an attachment to the report, which was the correspondence that we sent to the residents. And as the letter explains, it is a cost recovery levy. So any impacted businesses pay a tax rate in accordance for receiving the service. Pardon me. And it's outlined there in the letter, as well as a crude map, which thankfully the map to the bylaw looks a little more professional than that. But Essentially, that's it. There's about 13 properties impacted.
Are there any questions for Mrs. McIver? Very well, I'll ask for a motion then. Moved by Councillor Souls, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? Carried. Yes, Councillor Gerwin, go ahead.
So I'm just concerned that people that might see that this has passed think that their submission by July 15th is no longer necessary. So is there some way that the minutes or the correspondence or whatever can reflect that submissions are still being taken to July 15th and could impact the bylaw?
Okay, thank you. Councillor Souls, I'll ask you to take the chair for administration report number 58.
Okay, so report number 58, RE, the development variance permit application DVP 2202 for approval, and that the development variance be approved, allowing an accessory building shop to be sited in front of or forward of the principal building and relaxing the interior side yard setback to 1.8 meters on the property located at 7635 Old Alaska Highway. The report is there, and this is your report.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
As the council may recall from a report presented on June 27th, 2022, the applicant Wendy Brown and Walter Brown have requested a variance in two sections of the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality zoning bylaw. First variance request that the accessory building be sited in front of and forward of the principal building. And the second variance request relaxation of the interior side yard setback from 6 meters to 1.8 meters. Pursuant to council's consideration on June 27th meeting, a public notice regarding the development variance request was mailed to the adjacent property owners within the 400 meters from the subject property, satisfying the legislative requirement. And so far, no comments or feedback has been received from the public notification. And there are also no other identified unintended issues or infringements to the NRRM zoning bylaw. I'll turn it to the council now.
Okay, Madam Collins, go ahead.
Yeah, I would make that motion then for option number 1.
Second by Councillor Roper, and all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Penny's on, and he's in favor. Yeah.
He is on.
Yeah. He had to pop back on, so I knew this was, I was just communicating with him. So he's on, and he's in favor. So it's unanimous with the 4 in the room. He's gonna probably step away here now. His connection has been in and out. So.
Thank you, Councillor Souls. Correspondence, letter from Katrine Conroy, Minister of Forests, stumpage policy for community forests in British Columbia. Letter from the Honorable Lisa Bear, Minister of Citizen Services, request to participate in the RTP broadband process. And a letter from Dan Davies, MLA, Peace River North, motorcycle skills and ICBC road testing in Peace River North, received for information or correspondence, and information package June 29, 2022, July 6, 2022, received for information. I have no additions. Council reports. Are there any council reports?
Yeah.
Councillor Gerwin.
Thanks, Mayor. So I attended on July the 8th, the Community Health Plan Steering Committee meeting. Just a brief update with the doctors taking some much needed holidays in July and August. The hospital has continued to use the Rudy, I think it should be Ruby, but whatever, the virtual doctor for some of the on-call rotation. So it's every third night. And to date, there's always been a doctor in the community for second on-call services should they be needed. So that's good to know. Not much to report on the CT scanner, except for that Airport Way will be taking the lead in developing the business case. So hopefully we'll get some forward motion on that. Northern Health is awaiting staff to come up again to assess the room where the CT scanner is perhaps going to go and work out the cost to renovate that. Airport Way reported that the halter project has begun and patients are seeing their results back within a week. And just to remind council that if they could get a halter previously, they were waiting up to a year for the results. So that's really great news. I also have some really great news on the ultrasound front. Northern Health has confirmed a 0.5 ultrasound tech position for Fort Nelson to be shared with a 0.5 in Dawson Creek. And this position will see the candidate residing in Fort Nelson and traveling to Dawson Creek. Scheduling, I know, exciting, right? Scheduling is being determined, but it could look like 2 weeks here and 2 weeks in Dawson Creek. So it's such great news for us. And I just want to express my appreciation to Northern Health for their flexibility in making this a reality for Fort Nelson. Also, the Fort Nelson General Hospital is investigating expanding the scope of ultrasound practice for the Fort Nelson General Hospital. And so again, such great news that we've been working for years to get that going. So it's really exciting to see it. Additionally, the community health plan will be developing an advocacy plan to encourage Northern Health to continue optimizing diagnostic imaging services available under the current accreditation and work to identify opportunities for service expansions where appropriate. As well, the committee will be advocating for an ongoing review of the Northern Health Service Distribution Framework for the Fort Nelson General Hospital to identify opportunities to sustain or grow diagnostic imaging services in Fort Nelson. And then outside of the health, just so happy to report that it looks like the Fort Nelson Secondary School lifeguard training program will be taking place in September. So good news all around.
Good.
Thanks.
Any other council reports? Okay, the only report I have is the Canada Day. It was a wonderful celebration put on by our rec staff and with the participation of Fort Nelson First Nations. Was great to see, and it was great to see so many people in the community come out and enjoy that day and that cake with everyone. So good after the pandemic, not being able to get together again. It was a wonderful Canada Day. Are there any questions from any virtual attendees? Very well. In that case, I will declare this regional council meeting adjourned. Thank you.